Hi, welcome to Loft 801. My name is Diego, and today I'm talking about the latest film directed by Mel Gibson, Flightrisk. Released on January 24th, 2025, it's a thriller in the sky following Deputy U.S. Marshal Madelyn Harris transporting a mob accountant turned informant. Now, before I hop into my review, if you want to support the channel, then please take a second to like and subscribe and hit the notification bell. Thank you, I really appreciate it. As a warning, this review will contain some major spoilers, so please continue at your own risk. Lastly, if there's anything you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Thank you. I'm hopping in 3, 2, 1. Like I said, the story follows Madelyn, who is assigned to transport Winston to Anchorage, Alaska so that he can testify in a high-profile trial. To expedite the journey, she charters a small aircraft piloted by Texan Daryl Booth. The seemingly straightforward flight quickly devolves into chaos as it becomes evident that Daryl is not who he claims to be. We get a series of confrontations in the sky, and that's the general gist of this movie. I don't feel too bad spoiling this movie because the plot is so straightforward and it's shown bar for bar in the trailers. The plot itself is good, but it's not 90 minutes good. This definitely should have been a short film. I think director Gibson might have recognized this because he adds a conspiracy side plot to pad the runtime and it feels so cliche. I think it's a similar issue that last year's Carry On had. As an audience, we can see past the filler. Anyways, for the first 40-ish minutes of this movie, I was genuinely engaged. I thought the confined setting of the aircraft amplified the suspense that was driven by the mystery of the pilot. I enjoyed Mark Wahlberg in this movie. His voice might have been a little bit silly, but I think that's part of this movie's charm. I'm not the biggest Wahlberg fan, so it was fun seeing him bald and menacing and just a full-on weirdo. He was very hypersexual in his dialogue and it fit his murderous personality and injected stakes when needed. Again, I said the first 40 minutes of this movie hooked me because after it's revealed that Daryl is actually a hitman and Madelyn knocks him out, the film loses a lot of its suspense. It's simply the nature of the plot. Now, you would think that being stuck in the sky is a very scary situation, but when Madelyn pulls out her handy-dandy satellite phone, a lot of that suspense flies out the door. With Madelyn getting instructions from a pilot on the ground and Daryl handcuffed away, it's really hard to generate drama. The movie is left with no choice but to force drama for the sake of drama, even if it means Madelyn makes silly decisions like not checking on Daryl's cuffs or finding his knife while he's locked up or even checking Daryl's restraints a second or third time after he's gotten loose. I mean, how many times can you let this man escape and attack your witness? You have a pilot on the ground helping you, so just shoot Daryl and you'll be fine. Because the narrative had so many plot holes, I was actually very happy about Topher Grace's character. Winston is funny and a great distraction. His nervous energy and occasional humor and quips are the perfect contrast to Wahlberg's Daryl and Michelle Dockery's Madelyn. Madelyn has trauma from her last mission, which resulted in the death of her witness and is now super gung-ho about following procedures. She cares about her job and wants to accomplish it. It makes her character somewhat relatable and rootable. Again, her character makes some dumb decisions, so sometimes it is hard to care for her. Honestly, for every good thing in this movie, there's an equally bad thing. A good thing is the soundtrack. Antonio Pinto helms the score and it helps with the film's tension and pacing. The score builds the psychological unease in its first half. A bad thing would be the CGI and physics. There's a moment where the plane crashes through a snowcap with absolutely zero damage. That moment really harmed the believability of this movie. Not only did it look silly with the CGI, it just flat out wasn't real. A plane crashing through a snowcap at that speed would do as much damage as a plane crashing through a stone wall. The propellers would be effed up and the cockpit and windshield shattered. Stuff like this really hammers home the point that this movie is just a movie. It's simple, goofy fun that's been stretched out for a theatrical release. Flightrisk is a movie that flirts with tension and thrills but ultimately struggles to maintain altitude. While the first half delivers engaging suspense with a solid confined setting and a fun performance by Mark Wahlberg, the second half unravels with forced drama, questionable character decisions, and unrealistic moments that pull you out of the story. Michelle Dockery and Topher Grace offer strong performances that keep the film afloat, but they can't save it from its own narrative pitfalls and the over-reliance on cliché conspiracy tropes. For every good thing in this movie, there is an equally bad bad thing. Antonio Pinto's score shines by amplifying the tension where the script faltered, but the lackluster CGI and implausible physics hinder the overall experience. This is unfortunately a feature film that would have served better as a short film. At its core, Flight Risk is a popcorn thriller B-movie that entertains in some moments but never soars. If you watch this movie expecting some goofy fun and don't take it too seriously, you'll enjoy it. However, if you're looking for a tightly crafted, edge-of-your-seat thriller, this movie is going to be a bumpy ride. It's not a total crash landing, but I still wouldn't recommend this movie. Alright, I'm done with the puns. Thank you for listening to my review of Flight Risk. If you enjoyed the content, leave a like and hit subscribe. If you did not enjoy the content, thank you for sticking around. As always, I would love to read what you have to say, so leave a comment and let me know what you're thinking. Also, if there's something you want to see reviewed, don't forget to let me know and I will do my best to get to it. Lastly, if you want to see some more from me, then you can check out my vlogs linked up above or my podcast, Good Friends. Again, thank you for watching. My name is Diego and I will see you next time.